I want to simply tell you a story on today. I want to tell you a story about the eagle who was raised to be a chicken. There's a story that is told of a chicken farmer who happened to cross an eagle's egg. He looked around, see if the parent of the eagle's egg would come back, but they never came back. So in an attempt to make sure that the egg lived, he took the egg and put it amongst his hens. Some time went by, and it happened that the egg hatched, and the little eagle existed with the hens and the chicken. He walked around with the hens and the chicken, and he did the things that chickens do. Because chickens could only fly short distances, he learned to fly the short distance of a chicken. And then he learned to talk like chickens. One day while he's out in the field with the hens and the chicken, he sees something flying high up in the sky. And he says to the hen, "What's that?" And the hen says, "Oh, that's an eagle. The eagles are the king of the air. They belong to the sky, and we belong to the ground." This young eagle said, "One day I want to do that right there." And the hen said, "You can't. You're just a chicken." The little eagle walks away disappointed by what the hen said, so he went to a peer group of his chicken friends. And he says, "Did you all see the king of the air flying up there?" They said, "Yeah, it was exciting." He said, "One day, I'm going to do that." And they said, "Stupid, you can't do that. You're just a chicken." One of the friends said, "There you go again," as all of them laughed at him. Said, "You're always dreaming. Get your head out of the sky and learn how to live in reality." The other friend looked at him and said, "Man, you're going to mess around and hurt yourself. Always trying to do stuff that's bigger than you." So the little chicken walks off. He prepares for bed. And as he lays there in the bed, the chicken thinks about the king of the air. While he's thinking about the king of the air, all of the words that he was told came back to his mind. He thought about what the hen said, who told him, "He belongs to the sky, but you belong to the ground." He thought about what his friends said when they said, "Man, you're stupid. Man, you're always with your head up in the sky, dreaming. You need to just live in reality." But then another voice came, and that voice said to him, "You're more than what you think you are." The young eagle goes to sleep. When the young eagle wakes up the next morning, he's thinking again about all that he saw the previous day. And that voice comes up again, and it says, "You're more than what you think you are, and you know it." He looks around to see if somebody's talking to him, and there's nobody there. He stands in the mirror as he prepares to go out on this morning day to do what chickens do. And as he looks in the mirror, the voice comes out of nowhere once again, and it says, "You're more than what you are, and you know it." And right then, he looks at himself in the mirror, and he says, "I'm more than just a chicken." And he walks out, and he begins to flap his wings as he jumps in the air, and he begins to soar off into the sky. And as he soars off saying, "I'm more than just a chicken." This story helps us to understand that locked within each of us is a higher self that's calling out to us because it knows that we have the ability to be more than what we currently are. It helps us understand that there's something on the inside of us, as much as we try to drown it out, that's trying to remind us that you don't have to live a life of mediocrity. This story is helping us to understand that you have to make a choice about what voice you're going to listen to in life. You've got to make a choice about what voice you can trust. You have to make up your mind that the voice of fear, the voice of doubt, the voice of comfort, the voice of procrastination, the voice of mediocrity will not be the voice that leads me. But that voice on the inside of me that keeps calling me to a higher place is the voice that I will trust and the voice that I will listen to. There are 5 lessons that I want to give you from the eagle who was raised to be a chicken, who dared to soar. First thing that I want you to remember from this story is this, that he couldn't help the environment that he was born in. He couldn't control the fact that his mother and his father was nowhere to be found. He couldn't control the fact that he was born with hens and chickens. But even though he couldn't control the environment that he was born in, even though it was unideal, even though it was unfortunate, it was necessary. For in that place, even though it wasn't ideal, he had an opportunity to live. And that as long as you have life, you need to understand that it can get better. So the first lesson is intended to teach us that we've got to learn to have gratitude even in our unideal places. Because from an unideal place, I still have the opportunity for better. Second thing that I want you to learn from this lesson is this, is that your instinct of adoration triggers the instinct of imitation. In that unideal place, the young eagle saw the possibility of the excellence of what he could be in somebody else. And this simple point is intended to teach us, don't be a hater. Don't be that person that's always putting down the accomplishments of somebody else. Because somebody else's success is uniquely saying to you that you too can do the same. Third lesson that I want you to understand from his story is this. It is normal for you to aspire to be things of meaning, but run into resistance and reservation from people around you. When Soar started thinking and talking about living a life of flight, land dwellers don't understand that kind of language. So it's natural for them to speak against your talk of doing the new thing, to doing better things. And so you need to learn this from the lesson. Expect that everybody isn't going to understand what you're trying to do. But you got to be cool with it and keep the course. 2 more lessons I want to leave you with from the eagle story, and I'm done. I have to learn from this lesson that I must not allow the voices of the multitude to drown out the voice of my inner self. This young eagle was surrounded by a whole bunch of voices, and yet the voice that was calling out to him from within was greater than every other voice that dared to speak to him. When you value your inner voice, you have to value it so much that you begin to record the words of your own heart. And after recording the words of your own heart daily, you got to speak them back to yourself. Last thing that I want you to grab from the young eagle story is this. Be committed to moving your self-conversation to a place of actualization. One of the things that I've seen in this world that we live in is that there are a lot of people who have good ideas, but their good ideas never become a reality. One of the things that I've observed is that there are a lot of people who talk a good talk, but their good talk never manifests in their walk. And so, from the story of this young eagle, you have to believe and embrace the voice that tells you that you can. And after that voice tells you that you can, you got to make up your mind, like Nike says, I'm just going to do it. I leave you with this motto that I have. Think different, be different, and change the world. I pray that God blesses you in your endeavors and that you show the world the greatness of all that you are. Grace and peace.